Well, Cleveland's in a slump, but they're so far ahead it doesn't matter. They lost 4 straight.
They might lose again. You get they have such a terrible division there. They're a little sloppy. They haven't been that strong all year, but they got the good fortune of playing some mediocre teams in that division. Anything going on?
Red Sox are really hot right now.
Yeah.
And the Yankees have problems with injuries. The Red Sox are put a little distance between them and the Yankees. And, the rest of that division's weak. But, Cleveland, is in a weak division. It's, they're getting the same benefits that, Golden State got. But when they get in the playoffs, they're going to have problems with Houston and Boston. We could talk that. And, as far as the National League goes, Milwaukee has been playing very well.
Yeah. What did you, there was a little bit of a controversy about leaving the Tampa Bay pitcher Snell off the All-Star. Do you have any opinion on that, or it just doesn't matter?
Not really.
Yeah, it's all political anyway. In case you don't remember, this is Jim Feist and Hank Goldberg giving you a podcast here for Wednesday, the 11th of July. We're heading into an all-star break. We've got a trade deadline in baseball coming up. We got football coming up in a couple of weeks for the preseason and then the regular season. As I mentioned in earlier podcasts, Hank did extremely well last year in the NFL. And as well, I did as well, but I was a little bit behind Hank most of the year. But we both had great seasons, and I expect we'll do the same exact thing again this year. Hank, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait till it starts.
I was reading about the poker contest and how it's grown, and how it started with a handful of guys at Binion's, and now. Everybody knew each other back then, and now it's not like that. And I'm looking at the football contest and how it's grown. How many people do you think will be in that contest this year at Westgate?
Well, we had over 3,000 last year, correct?
Yeah.
I think we'll hit 4. I think the legalization of gambling, more people interested. The economy seems to be doing pretty well. It may not go top to bottom, but the top is definitely in the middle is getting a little bit better. But $1,500 is a big number, but it keeps growing, and people want to take a shot at winning big money. $1 million, that's a nice prize, and of course they pay down. I think 50 spots. I think it's 50.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. If you're not in the state of Nevada, you just need to get a proxy. Pay the proxy, give the proxy your picks every week. Proxy goes in, and proxies all have different deals, but you have to pay them, and you might give them a percentage of something if you win. That's how that works. But it's pretty exciting. And there's several contests in Nevada this year, and I'll go over those with you, Hank, offline. But there'll be plenty of opportunities to win some big bucks. It's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Baseball's been good. I've hit 9 out of my last 10 plays, and having a good season. Hank, you are too. I think you have 4 or 5 plays up for today already, and it's all at JimFeist.com.
Yeah, well, Washington has been playing pretty well lately and scoring a lot of runs. Looking around at what's going on, Milwaukee is playing very well. And they've kind of surged ahead of the Cubs in that division. St. Louis is hanging in, but that's an interesting race. Out west that continues the smolder between Arizona and the Dodgers. The Dodgers are, they lost Puig, I think. He got hurt the other night. Well, that'll hurt them because he's a good long ball guy, and they'll miss that. But Kershaw's pitching well now. And you look at the American League, and Boston has been hot, and the Yankees are having some problems with their bullpen. Their key closer is hurt, and they're having a lot of injuries. And as you said, the trade deadline is coming up, and the Yankees are very anxious to make a deal to help their pitching staff.
I bet you they would love to get rid of Sonny Gray and bring in DeGrom from the Mets, but I don't know if that's possible. But that would be a great fit.
Who wants Sonny Gray? He's been terrible. I think he's pitching today.
He is, and Bundy's going against him. You're probably going to see some runs in that game, even though Yankees are not hitting that great. But Bundy can throw a good outing every once in a while. Gray has been very, very poor. Yeah. The Tampa Bay Rays have this amazing concept where they start these relievers, and they do extremely well with that concept. I think we're going to see a big change in the sport of baseball with these relievers starting games.
I don't think so. I disagree. I don't think teams are going to do that. I mean, you got too many. Look at all the great starters you have in the game right now. What you'll see is, with the way things are, you'll probably see the resumption of what the old St. Louis managers did, with shorter innings, number of innings with starters. But there's so many good pitchers right now, starting pitchers around. Why would you want to do that?
Well,
the only reason that Tampa's doing it is because they had a shortage of starting pitchers. They did it out of necessity.
Well, necessity is the mother of invention, so we'll see. I'm sure that having a bunch of guys that can come in for 1 or 2 innings makes you less dependent.
It's like an all-star game. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, if they can put up wins in the win column, they probably enjoy it. I'm not disagreeing with you. It's a very big difference from what baseball has always been. But then the whole world.
You're a 500 team. Come on.
I agree, but I can't just it's too the concept is.
Jim, they're a 500 team that plays in a freak ballpark.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you. It's a strange thing. It seems to be working for them. They had to do it out of necessity, and it's worked for them. But other teams, we saw a little bit of it last year, even with the Arizona. I mean, they were using starters as relief pitchers, and now this team's doing relief pitchers as starters. It's just inventive. It's change. I don't know that
you do what you have to do.
Yep.
But there's so many good starting pitchers around right now that I can't see that becoming a trend.
Anything going on in the NFL that, or even NBA that you see going on? What about Kawhi Leonard? Any idea where this guy's going?
No, I haven't heard anything, but I know that the commissioner is begging for a piece of the gaming pie. He came out yesterday and started talking about how he's looking for for his league getting involved and participating. He won't give up on that. We'll see if that happens or not. I hope it doesn't happen because I don't want to see. I think that would really hurt the companies that are. You don't want to see any kind of additional tax on betting.
Well, it would certainly drive a lot more people to their local book and offshore if they start doing stuff like that, because the economics of sports betting is very difficult if you're going to try to win and pay an extra tax over and above what the now normal juice is, what they call juice is the vigorish. It would be very difficult to win money in the long run if you had to do that. So I don't see it.
There is excitement over Phoenix. Their young guys have looked pretty good in this summer league, and they seem to have had drafted a couple of very good guys, and people think that they're going to be a very good club next year, very much improved.
Well, it would be nice to get some teams in the mix, other than the normal ones. That when you can start the year off and say, oh, it's going to be Golden State and Cleveland in the final, and then it's Golden State and Cleveland in the final, that's not good for the sport. But NBA is making money, and they're paying big numbers, and for some reason the public like this superstar teams and super teams they're building, and the players playing with people they want to play with rather than being forced to play somewhere they're not. So the fans seem to like it. Personally, I'd like to see a little bit more balance in the league, but that's just me. But,
it's not just you.
I'm hearing some, and I know you've been talking about it for a while, hearing some really good things about the New York Giants and the way they've put together the team in this offseason.
Yeah. The new coach and the staff he's put together, and the left tackle. I think we talked about this the other day. I think the total on them might be climbing a little bit. I give them a big shot this year.
And another win total that's been climbing is the Cleveland Browns. They've gotten a good shot in the arm. People are looking at their roster now, that whether the coaching can pull it together and make it work. They probably won't turn the ball over at the quarterback position as much as they did last year. They did upgrade that position from that standpoint. A little bit more conservative, a little bit more ball control, and not as many turnovers. The kind of team that could have covered a lot of games and could have even won a lot of games had they not, because they were in a lot of games late, and then they blew leads and blew situations. I'm not saying they're last to first, but I think there'll be a big improvement because I'm not seeing a lot from Cincinnati or Baltimore, and Pittsburgh's starting to get a little long in the tooth at some positions, including quarterback. So there might be some advancement. The line went from 4.5 up to 6. That's 6 wins. Cleveland hasn't won 6 games in 10 years, it seems.
I think 6 is too high. I wouldn't use that number. I'd have to go under 6, but I think that they have a chance to win. Maybe 5 games this year. They'll be improved because they have an improved coaching staff, but Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, I think, are going to at least split with them, and they're probably Baltimore too. I don't know the rest of their schedule. I haven't looked at it that closely, but they probably going to have a rookie at quarterback, and 6 is a lot for a team that had 1 win in the last 2 years.
Well, they did add Tyrod Taylor at quarterback, and he won't turn the ball over like they had last year, and that in itself could help the team. It's hard to know because you look at a team now and then you start looking at them as after they have injuries, and you got to deal with their depth situations, and what happens if this guy goes down? Do they have anybody to bring in behind them? Those kind of things come into play and really make a big difference.
I would go over 4.5, and that's my limit with them.
Well, that's what it opened. So
yeah, I like the opening line. After that, they lose me.
Right. And the bad part about playing over and under totals is, and a lot of people have to play on, put up money and and play off their bankroll. If you can play on credit, it's not such a bad thing. But you got to remember, you make those bets now, and they're not going to cash in till almost February. So you're tying your.
And the good thing about it is that you can play against it late in the season.
That's true. That's true. You can hedge. Well, Hank, if we have nothing else, if you have anything else, let me know. Otherwise, we'll sign off for today. Everybody can go to jimfeist.com. Hank's plays, my plays are there. And
you think there'll be any scoring today in England, the England game?
I have not really been very focused, honestly, on the soccer, the World Cup. We've been doing okay.
I'll tell you something. You sit in the sports book, it's like sitting there during the college basketball tournament, the way they're screaming at these games.
There are some passionate people about it. There's no question. They got money on it. And what's it today? England and Croatia.
Yeah.
You like anybody?
Well, you can get England at 220 to 2 if you bet $2.
Well, I didn't bet it, and I have a couple baseball games today, a few totals. I've been focusing mostly on some spotting up unders, where teams aren't hitting well going up against pitchers that are throwing well, that kind of thing. You do have to do a lot of research because there's a lot of variables because the starters only go 5 innings anyway, for the most part. So there's a lot to do in baseball, but you can pick up some nice coin if you stay focused. Hank, I'm going to sign off. We're running along here.
Okay.
And we'll talk again on Friday, and thank you again.
All right, Jim. Have a good day.
You too.